Before we do styling, let's make sure we can actually link out to the videos. And there was a little bit of a hint in the last lesson where we saw that if we do YouTube, so if we do it like this, and then we attach the ID afterwards, that should give us the URL to a video. Let's grab the video ID. So if we slash it, so this should open up this video ID. Okay, so we see that we can open up the YouTube video by doing this shortener and then the ID. So it's the same thing up here. You could do the long one as well if you want. And that actually gives you some more options for parameters, but we can send over and we can get the right video. So if we go to share, we can see that there's that same short URL, which is for this particular video. And I just noticed also one thing, that we're not actually searching for the term JavaScript within the URL path. So let's update that and fix that. So that was a little minor bug here where we never updated the term here. So this actually has to equal search term. And we'll break out of the string, concatenate it, and break back in. So let's try it out and just make sure that we are actually returning back JavaScript videos. So refresh, search, and now it does look like we were able to get JavaScript videos back in. So we're ready to move on to the next step. So we see how we can link out to the videos. And now it's just a matter of making some styling. The rest of this is going to be all styling. So if you want to skip through this, you're welcome to do so, or you can sit through and watch us do some styling, apply some styling to these elements. There's one other thing that I still want to pick up before we continue, and that's going to be the video ID. So in order to get the video ID, the path is going to be, so it's data items. We can copy a little bit of this stuff here. So data items, and instead of snippet, we're grabbing the ID object, and then within the ID object, we've got video ID. So that should grab us our video ID, and this will give us the ability to actually create a clickable URL. So let's add that in. So href. And then in here, this is where we're going to drop our URL. So open it up on a new page. And then we'll add it around the thumbnail. So the thumbnail is actually going to be the clickable one. Let's add in our URL. So we know that with the YouTube videos. So let's go back out and we'll grab that short format. And we can paste that value. And now this is where we can make use of the ID, because this is the only thing that changes for the path to all the videos. And we just need to drop our ID in there. And we should, of course, go and check it just to make sure that things are working. So refresh, click it. So now we've got a bunch of clickable paths there. So we don't actually have the image, we're actually still outputting the image. So let's fix that we're actually going to output the image as an image. So we just use the image tags, image source, and we can just pull back to the thumbnail. Also add in alt. And we can use the title for the alt as well. So we've already got it over here. So it's just a matter of pasting it in and formatting, getting it to look however you want it to look. So refresh, click. So now these are all clickable. So they open up the videos. So great. Next thing that we should do, we need to wrap it so that we can pop them inline. So I'm going to give this one a class panel and go into our styling. So now we can apply some styling to the panel. We'll give it a width of 25%. So they're all going to fall in line there. Display, and we'll do inline block. So that should align them one after the other. So horizontally align them, because they're only going to be 25% across. Also give them a uniform height, so maybe 120 pixels, because we do need to still add some text. And let's hide the overflow, so overflow hidden, so we don't have any content hanging outside of it. So there we go. So we've got essentially, there it is, it's popping up. I know my window is kind of small here, so if we get bigger, we can see that things are working properly. We can also do something for the images in the panel as well. So we could do panel img, so the images in there, and we'll set them to a width of 100%. So it'll always be fully across, so that when we make it bigger, our images are still there fully across. Now actually we're losing our text. So we need to do something with that text. Let's go back in and let's wrap our text. We'll wrap it in a span. All we're passing over is this title. And let me just make sure that we can grab the span properly. So see what that looks like. So there we go. So it's starting to look a little bit better. We can, obviously, if we get bigger, we're going to have some problems here that this is going to overlap. So we might have to restrict the size of the images, or we can move the text on top. So again, depending on what you want to do, you might want to place the text on top. And that way, we're always got the same width. And we also might want to set a default. And also what we can do is we can set some absolutes. Do a background. So background. We'll set an RGB color so that we can use RGBA. And a lot of this is depending on what you prefer, what works best for you. So let's refresh and just clean this up. So we've got the span colors. Maybe what we want to do is we want to have another wrapper around there. Maybe we'll set it up as a div and we'll give it a class. And we'll give it a class of content. And we'll close off that div. And this way we can better identify that content. So instead of span, this will just be content. So there we go. So that's a little bit better. And of course we can set the height of these as well now if we wanted to. So if we want to have it a set height, and maybe what we can do is we can move it on top of the image. So we can do like a Z index and also set position. So set it as absolute position. That might be a little bit too much, but we'll set it up as that. And we'll also Z index so that it's actually above. So we'll give it a Z index of 100, and then we'll go over to this image, and let's update the image as well. So it's actually moving outside of the main container. So we need to still have it all contained within there. So let's add another div, and let's do a quick check on our HTML. Make sure that it's rendering out properly. And so we've got the panel. So the wrap should be 100%. So there we go. So we've got text on top, we've got the titles on top, and if we click the images, then we can go out to see the videos. And of course, you probably want to style it however works best for you. This was just a simple suggestion on the styling. We also might want to do that the content is width of 100% as well. So there we go. So that looks a little bit better. And try it out for yourself. And of course, the styling is optional. You can set it and make it look however you want. Maybe because we're working on a small screen, maybe we want to make it a little bit smaller as well. So go ahead, try this out for yourself. And the main objective here is not really the styling. I know I spent quite a bit of time on that, but the main objective is getting that content from YouTube and then outputting it within your web page. So go ahead, set that up on your own page. And next, we're going to do a quick overview of this application and how it works. So that's coming up.